Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum.
What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today, I'm very excited to check out Survive from Maple Games. This is for 2 to 6 players. It'll take you about 25 to 35 minutes to play. It's for ages 12 and up, but that's only because of the theme, which is zombies, as you are going to be trying to get from your house to a helipad without dying. But along the way, there's going to be lots of different stuff. People are going to steal cards from you. There's going to be weapons. You're going to be rolling dice to see how much damage zombies are going to do to you. And there's going to be some super cool resistance cards, which can potentially help you out in the right situations. Sound intriguing? Let's open it up and see how it works. Alright, then we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Survive. So first and foremost, we have a handy dandy rule booklet. It's 13 pages, double-sided, full color. Very, very well done rule booklet. We'll have you up and running in no time at all. Plenty of pictures and illustrations. Big thumbs up on the rule booklet. Next, what are you going to be doing in this game? Well, you are going to be playing as a regular average Joe Schmo. Hey there. And you're going to be trying to make your way up and down the board and weave and wave to get to the helipad all the way up here. And you're just trying to survive and get there. But along the way, there are going to be, as you probably guessed, zombies all over trying to kill you. So you're going to have this health track right here, which is going to keep track of your health, and also the weapons that you might have and how many rounds of that. And if you ever get below 1, then you are going to die and you'll become a zombie, but we'll get into more on how that works later. Now, normally I go over the components and then I go over the gameplay, but for this one I'm actually just going to go over the gameplay, and then that will explain all the components in the game. So needless to say, you're just going to start off, you're going to have your health sheet, you're going to start at 50, and then you are going to roll a die and you are going to start the game. So what you're going to do is you're going to be rolling this black 4-sided die, and this is going to make you either go 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4 spaces. So let's go over all the different spots on the board that you can potentially land on. The first one is going to be a green spot. If you land on a green spot, you're going to roll a green 6-sided die. Whatever number you land on, so for instance, if you get this 4, that means you are going to take 4 damage from the zombies, so you move your health track down to 4, and then your turn would be over. If you land on a yellow spot, likewise, you're going to roll a yellow die. Now, this is a 12-sided die, which means you can potentially take up to 12 points of damage, but that's about it. Next, if you land on a red spot, you're going to be rolling a 20-sided die, which means you could potentially lose, yikes, 20 of your 50 health. So you could potentially lose 40% of your health in one spot there if you land on a red spot. But the red spots are not nearly as prevalent until you get well up into there, which is just murderer's row. Next, you're going to have these purple spots right here, and there is some solace because these are weapons. They're going to allow you to pick up various different kinds of weapons. You don't draw randomly, you're actually going to pick up the weapon that is on that spot, and the weapons are going to mitigate damage. So for instance, the shotgun prevents 4 damage to health per round used, so that's going to block a little bit of damage that you might take from, say, this 4 right here. That would completely block that. There's also the handgun, prevents 2 damage to health per round used, and so you have 5 rounds there. As I mentioned, you're going to be keeping track of your rounds on this little chart right here. And then last but not least, you're going to have the grenade launcher, which is going to prevent 8 damage to health per round. So that one can really save your fanny quite a bit. Next, you're going to have these R spots. That just means retreat. If you land there, that's essentially go back a space. So that's going to take you back to the yellow space, in this case, which means you roll a yellow dice. So whenever you land on an R space, it's going to knock you back 1 space. There's also S spaces on the board. This means you're going to be able to steal either a resistance or a weapon card from another player. What's a resistance card? We'll get into that in a second. The last major spot that's all over the board are going to be these health spots, which are pretty obvious. You're going to roll a blue dice, which is an 8-sided dice, and you're going to heal that many. So that's actually a good spot to land on because, well, you'll actually get to heal some stuff. So the other spot on the board, before I get into the resistance cards, is going to be right here, which is essentially going to be a gate. In order to get past this gate, you are going to have to roll a 4. So once you land there, you're just going to be stuck there until you roll a 4. Now, when you do roll a 4, the gate is going to go up, and then everyone else can then pass through. So you could potentially be stuck there for a turn or 2, but the person after you is not going to be stuck there because you have lifted the gate for them. Now, This sounds like it's going to be really difficult to stay alive. Well, that's where resistance cards come into play. Because as I mentioned, on your turn, normally you're going to get a roll this 4-sided dice and move that many spaces. However, if you're low on health or you want to try and get something that's going to help you out, what you can do instead is you can pass your turn and draw a resistance card, which is going to do various different things. So here's the sniper rifle. Cut the health of the lead player in half. So you're actually going to be trying to kill them. Ammo. This is going to let you recover rounds. First aid. Always a good thing. 12 health. Food. 8 health. There's different things of ammo. Nightsticks. You're allowed a second chance for 1 zombie dice roll. So there's going to be various different things that will help you out quite a bit. Now, you can only have 1 resistance cards in your hand, though, so that is one thing you want to take into consideration. Now, one last thing I want to mention is that when you die, and you will die quite a bit, the game is called Survive, even though you're not going to do that too often, you're going to become a zombie. So you're going to lose out on all your cards and everything, but then you're going to start rolling another dice to try and hurt other people, and then you're going to be able to go actually forwards and backwards. And normally once somebody becomes a zombie, especially if you have more than 1 or 2 people being zombies, the game's going to end pretty quickly because it's just attacking, and then you have to roll your dice, so then you're going to get hurt even more. But that, in a nutshell, is how Survive is played. Okery dokery, Survive for Maple Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the pros side, rule booklet. Very, very well done. I like the graphic design. I like the artwork a lot. I like the board. I like the components. I like the dice. I mean, they're game crafted components, but everything is perfectly serviceable on that front. Also, the game is very, very simple, easy to learn, easy to teach. There's some different variants in the back of the rule booklet, and that's all I have. That's it. Moving on to the cons, if you watch the middle part, you know exactly what I'm probably going to say, that this is not a good game. This might have been a good game in 1985, but now it is not a good game. What are the problems with this game? First and foremost, it's just completely luck-based dice rolling. There's the roll and move mechanic, there's seeing how much damage you take with dice, and you don't just do that once or twice. You do that until you die, which means you're going to be doing it pretty much every turn. I'd say 2 out of 3 turns. You're probably just going to land on a spot that's going to hurt you, and you're going to roll the die to see how much that hurts you. Also, having a 4-sided movement die in a game that is this difficult is not a good thing, which brings me on to the next point. This game is way too hard, and not in like a fun, oh man, I thought we were super close. No, in a cheap, that was really freaking cheap. This game just kind of, you're never going to win kind of way. We played this 5 or 6 times. We never got past, we never even got close to winning. We get to like the 75, we get like a little bit past the bridge, and then the game was over because someone would roll a 12 on a yellow or a 15 on a red, and that would just kill you. Having damage done by dice is tricky. If you're going to implement that, you need to be very careful with it. But having a 20-sided dice do that is a problem, because if you roll a 20, you are probably going to die. But we didn't even get near the end of the board where there's like 6 or 7 straight red spots. The game is nearly impossible. It's just nearly impossible to win at all. Then you become a zombie, and things get even more difficult because people can go backwards and forward, all that different kind of stuff. Also, the guns are very limited. There's only 3 guns in a game and the taser, so I would have liked to have seen more guns. Also, I wanted to see more cards in the resistance pile. I don't need first aid and food. I mean, give me some cool stuff. Give me some stuff that's actually going to let me survive in this game. Also, the bridge part just annoyed the crap out of me, because it essentially can amount to catch-up AI. That's all it is. The first person to get there is going to have to roll a 4. If you don't roll a full 4, guess what? You lost your turn. Great. So what could have made this game better? I don't normally talk about that, but this game needs that. Obviously, you need to have more than 1 resistance card. You just can't do it. You can't win the game with just 1 resistance card. You need to be able to hoard them up and then use them at the same time. Also, there should be no competitive variant in this whatsoever. If someone else can hurt you, it's completely unnecessary because the game is too hard. Can't tell, this game frustrates me. It does, because I wanted to like it, because I like the artwork, and I like the fact that there's 5 dice, and I liked quite a bit about this game, but then playing the game is just not something I want to do ever again. So that is Survive from Maple Games. Definitely a big thumbs down. Not for gateway gamers, not for gamers, not for non-gamers. I don't know who this game is for, but it is not for me. So that is Survive from Maple Games. If you enjoyed this content, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below, and also in the comments below, let me know, Apples to Apples, what do you think about it? Have you outgrown it? Do you still play it? Do you still like it? Have you never tried it? Let me know in the comments below. Me personally, I'm looking at it actually right now, which is why I brought it up. I used to enjoy it, and I still do enjoy it. I still think it's a perfectly serviceable party game, but I've outgrown it. There's better party games, and I will never suggest Apples to Apple, which is why it's in my sell box over there. So, let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Apples to Apples, and as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.
That was the review for Survive. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.